Why does it feel so cold inside my heart tonight? Be my man is what she said. It's not just the wind that's moving round tonight, but quick and clean don't make it right.
Righto, we're on an obscure part of the Darcy-Hepburn Goldfields, and the reason it's obscure is it was never rushed. It was well worked, but when gold was discovered around the Darcy-Hepburn Goldfield, there were better spots. And the likes of Yandor, say north of Hepburn, they found a nugget 750 ounces, they found one 500, they found one 200. So imagine you've sailed halfway around the world, it's taken you a few months to sail around the world. You come to the goldfield, you go to the commissioner's tent, you pay your 30 shillings, you say, where are they getting gold? And he says, well, you can go up to this spot and they're making wages, or down at Nuggety Gully, every hole they're bottom on, it's a poor hole if they don't get 5 ounces. So Yandor, it was rushed, there was 5,000 people there, 5,000 diggers there at one stage, but this area we're in, there are only a few blokes at any one time. But the good thing about it is, there's what you call commercial water races there, company water races, they've been dug, so there are enough miners in here to say, we're getting gold and we're willing to pay for the water. So that's the first thing I noticed when I come in here, commercial race, which is, this one's leading off the commercial race, but you can see where they brought the race along. That's where the water's dropped down into the gully, and they've sluiced the gully right out. So the bigger races, the commercial races, they only drop an inch every 10 feet. But this one's losing its fall because they want the water to come at speed to go into the gully. The second thing I noticed was hut sites. There's quite a few hut sites. So the blokes that came in here, they didn't say, put the tent up, we'll give it a week and see how it goes. They've got in here, got on the gold and said, we're going to be here all winter, build a big hut, we need a good fireplace. So hut sites. And the third thing I noticed is the sinking. When they've finished doing the easy ground and sluiced out the gullies, worked it back to bedrock, they haven't said, well, that'll do us, the ground's too poor, we'll take off. They've sunk on all the flanks and wanted to get a bit more gold. And sinking's a lot harder than raking and digging. So here, take this hole here, that's a sinkhole. They've had to drop that down to the same level as the gully down there, so that's probably, it's falling now, but that's probably 16 or 18 feet. They run right along up here, and there's a patch up further on the left-hand side. There's probably 80 or 90 holes all close together where they've got gold. So sinking tells you that they're on good gold. If they're on poor gold, they're not going to muck around and keep sinking, so they've stayed there. And so we've got enough blokes buying water, commercial water race, we've got hut sites, we've got sinking, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, oh Glenn, I went to this spot, they had all those three things, and I got 2 parts of 3/5 of sweet Fanny Adams. But I'll show you, I was up here last Sunday afternoon, only here for about half an hour, I spent most of it poking around. I got one little fella, 0.8 of a gram, but it showed me there's detectable gold, and he's quite reefy as well, you know, he hasn't been carted a million miles by the water. And when you do the research, the reef line runs through here, it comes from Mount Edgerton and Gordon, runs right through, down through Hepburn, and we reckon we're on a likely spot. So there's 3 of us today, and I shouldn't let Ant play on the internet unsupervised. He's got a mate called Josh. Josh has come over here today and have a crack with us.
Josh from Chasing Gold Australia.
So between the 3 of us, if it's a wages goldfield, let's see if we can make wages.
Beautiful. It's been a bit of a slow day today. We haven't had much luck on the gold today, but I thought I'd show you a bit of ground and the area where we're at. There's been a lot of workings here, but recently we had a big storm come through the area, and there's a lot of carnage that's been left. There's trees that have been uprooted and fallen down. That root there, it's almost the size of my car, I reckon. It's huge.
Righto, we're at the end of the day, and the bad news is we didn't get any gold. Oh, we got lots and lots of relics and things like that. Parts of bloody, that's a black powder flask and all sorts of things that weren't of any great significance to anyone else, but they were of interest, like for hanging your pot on the fire, and all sorts of buttons and things that gave a good signal, all sorts of odds and ends. Every one of them I thought was, these little round ones I thought might turn into a bit of gold. That pretended to be a nugget and must have been a bit of melted lead, a bit of a brass nail from a sluice box, that sort of thing. But you needn't think we didn't enjoy our day, because we did. We had a great day. We had a good look around, and there was a few things that I hadn't come across before in the bush that I really enjoyed to look at, how they worked the ground. But the bottom line is, we didn't find anything. And on some of our comments, some of the blokes have commented that we don't bullshit, and I like that comment, because we don't bullshit. If we do no good, we'll tell you, and whatever we find, when you see us digging it, that's what we've found. So, and I got the same amount of gold, and that was none whatsoever. So if you went out today and got a little bit, well done, we got sweet FA.